purpose or the timing for what we're undertaking, and what we would like to, what I hope will happen, I pray will happen, is that we can enlighten some people as to what this is all about. First and foremost, it's about honoring the gifts that Native Americans brought to us. Anybody get a sense of that?
Yes.
Can you name one thing that Native Americans brought to us as pilgrims? Anybody?
Herbal healing.
Herbal healing.
Food to live on.
Food.
The sacred earth.
Animals. Edible plants.
Spiritual.
Mathematics. Our government.
Society.
Yeah, it's way of
Just
life.
to name a couple. What kind of foods do you think the Native Americans brought to us?
Corn.
Corn was first, wasn't it?
Corn was one, right?
Jerky.
Hmm?
Jerky. Deer jerky.
Um,
Fish jerky.
they did that, but that wasn't the ones that brought to the pilgrims.
One jumbo bologna, I know that.
That's an Athabascan gift, was jerky. But the Native Americans here that brought to the pilgrims, they brought us birds and food that we didn't know we could eat.
Turkey.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving was about the Native Americans bringing food to the pilgrims so they didn't die. They were all starving and were on the verge of death, and the Native Americans brought them food and fed them for the entire winter. Hard to believe that the pilgrims coming here did not know how to preserve the natural foods. That's pretty spooky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the same pilgrims in the old country were very adept at doing just that. And when they came to this country, they kind of lost this ability. And I thought that was pretty interesting. But some of the things that the Native Americans brought was corn, popcorn, wild rice, beans, squash, pumpkins, cranberries, maple syrup and maple sugar, potatoes, turkeys, clam bakes, pemmican, jerky, tomatoes, pineapple, avocados, tapioca, chocolate, peanuts, chewing gum, vanilla, and wild rice.
Pineapple.
Pineapples.
Pineapples, that's what I'm,
I never thought of raising pineapples in New England.
They didn't raise them in New England, they did in North Carolina and South
Oh,
Carolina.
Okay. So it was a trade item.
The products that they brought were canoes, toboggans, snowshoes, moccasins, teepees, kayaks, buckskin jacket, the fringed buckskin jackets, coonskin caps, mucklucks, lacrosse, cradle boards, tomahawks, tobacco, cigars, pipe smoking, cotton, rubber, and quinine.
What's quinine, I forget.
That's a medicinal water.
It has nice qualities as far as relaxing muscles, things like that.
Calming.
It's a chemical that comes from different sources.
Yeah. Some of the things that they didn't talk about in here was sacred springs, such as Bedford Springs. This particular information I read here is across the board, all of the Indian nations, from all of the contributions, that's the Canadian, the Mexican, Indians, from all over. And I think it's really amazing the amount and diversity of gifts that were brought to us. And I also believe that it's really pretty interesting how many of those are taken for granted. like peanut butter. Yeah. Native Americans had that before Columbus came here. That's what old peanut butter was.
So Jimmy Carter didn't do nothing special.
Who's he?
He was a peanut man from Georgia. He was in the White House for a while.
Speaking of peanut butter and honey.
So, some of the, some of the things that we need to look at as a group, and I want to address some of the rest of this here because we're going to do a drumming here in a minute. So, the idea or intention that I want to get across today is that what happens is we develop or bridge the gap, so to speak, between our ignorance and our arrogance.
That's an inside joke.
What we need to do is replace some of what we've had as ignorance and arrogance and replace it with real knowledge of the true compassion and gifts that our Native American friends have brought us.
Right.
And it's sad that we've lost that in our arrogance. We think we're so much smarter, faster, better. You look at what's going on right now in the national news about the refugees. Listen to the rhetoric. Listen to how they speak. Listen to the arrogance that they are. So the intention here is to leave that behind, to drop that away, and to become more compassionate about the people around us, the gifts that they are. Just because you see somebody and they don't look like you, they got their cap on backwards, they got their pants hanging down or whatever, it doesn't mean they're evil, bad, or wrong. And until such time as you walk in their shoes, keep your judgment to yourself. Your judgment really makes you stink. And it's one of the things that's happened for a long time in the world that we are with Native Americans. We've had this preconceived notion or pre-belief as to who's over there. And so we have put such a stigma out there in that area. And I'm not talking about educated Native Americans that are in our workforce and that. I'm talking about the ones on the reservation, the ones that really need some help.
Mm-hmm.
They need somebody to walk up and say, hello, my name is so-and-so, and I want to be your friend. They never heard that. Never once did they ever hear that. I was 16 years old when I introduced myself to a Native American boy who just got the snot kicked out of him by some other white kids. I stopped the fight, helped the kid up, shook his hand, and told him who I was. He was my friend until he passed away in Vietnam, fighting for people that beat him up. Hard to believe, isn't it? This is the world we live in. But we don't have to be of it. We have an opportunity, I say, to change how we be in this world with caring and compassion. And I think we can drum that in. Does that work?
Definitely.
Everybody agree?
Agreed.
And
One of the ways that we can do that is we're gonna start off, I'll lead off with a drum beat. And just asking everybody to go in with this beat to begin with, and then let everything flow from there. But with this beat, concentrate on your breath in and out. And as you do that, just have the awareness that we're all here together as one. And as we are as one, we're also breathing as one. Our hearts beat together as one. And we connect as one. This is our intention with what Al has already explained to us. This prayer that you have was given most graciously to Al from, did you say a Lakota grandmother?
Yeah.
And this was especially designed for us. So many thanks to her as well.
Who wants a shaker?
Oh, cool. Got a shaker too.
Samantha. That's one of it, isn't it?
Go ahead. Hear the sound of the drums, feel the vibration. Center your concentration on the sound of the drums. See how you can center your attention and your thoughts on one specific thing. You see how you all I saw you all just concentrating, and some closed your eyes and you're just, I could tell you're feeling it. And what Al was saying earlier, this is something that's not just the first drum, or instrument, I should say, that was ever made, there's a purpose behind it. It's the resonance, it's the vibration. It's something that the energetic magnetical field of our bodies need. And so you can see the importance behind it. So thank you. That was very nice.
Thank you.
This, the Go to Prayer was a gift from a native grandmother for this occasion. She wrote it special and wanted it gifted to you so that you can keep it. For all of the time that I've known any of the Native Americans, there's been a theme that kind of flows throughout all of the Native American clans, groups, and that is nature first. They never believed in owning, like they don't believe they own the reservation. They don't believe in ownership like that. I don't even know, I can't tell you that that's an American thing. I don't know that. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know where we came up with that. But when we follow the Native American way and we honor the gift, and I think the greatest gift that Native Americans have brought us has nothing to do with what I shared with you so far or what we've talked about. It has nothing to do with government. It has nothing to do with any of that stuff. And I'm not saying, and I'm not going to be here telling you that Native Americans are righteous and they're all good and they're just wonderful and all that stuff. That's not what I'm telling you.
No, but we are.
Yeah. Right. See, I knew that. The really important thing that Native Americans share with the world is their gift of compassion for even their enemies. We have no clue on our first look until you really can kind of get, they always say you never know who another person is until you've had opportunity to walk in their shoes for how many moons or whatever it is. And I can't remember who was the one that said that, but it's a famous quote about you never know who somebody else till you walk in their moccasins. But the point being that even when they captured other natives and other peoples from other nations and brought them home, they treated them like slaves. Not like we think of slaves. You know what I'm saying. They treated them like part of the family. They were captives, and they treated them like part of the family. So if you want to know if they're a Lakota Sioux, or if you want to know if they're a Ojibwe, or if you want to know if somebody's a Cheyenne or whatever, you're probably going to have to do a DNA test. Because that was a way of life for hundreds and hundreds of years. Like at one point, the Cherokee say that they went north and became part of the Six Nations. That's part of the Cherokee heritage. And they will tell you that right out. But if you really look at that, it was the Tuscalero that moved north and became the Tuscalero, part of the Haudenosaunee. But it's interesting to go and talk to the older people in those nations or clans and see how they feel about, how they say what they have to say about it. And then you get this concept or idea that there's a even amongst the Tuscalero or when I talk to the Cherokee, they don't really know. When I asked Noah, and I walked right up that